Lewis in front of her Sandy Grande home yesterday. Lewis was walking out of her home shortly after 8 Thursday morning when a lone gunman ambushed her, shooting her in the forehead and abdomen. Residents heard 2 loud explosions and later saw a white Nissan March speeding away from Brooklyn Road. Police and task force officers responded after receiving reports of the shooting around 8:30 a.m. and found Lewis bleeding profusely on the roadway. Paramedics took her to the Sandy Grande Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. Police have not established a motive and are reviewing CCTV footage as they continue their investigation. Lewis was described by relatives as bright, intelligent, ambitious, and friendly, while her death has left residents of the community shocked and questioning why she was targeted. 7 police officers are under arrest as investigators probe the disappearance of 3 firearms and ammunition from the Central Police Station in Port of Spain. Senior police officials confirmed that the officers from varying ranks were on duty during the shift when the weapons went missing. The missing items include 3 Glock pistols, 3 magazines, and 45 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Police said the firearms were lodged for safekeeping by Port of Spain municipal police officers shortly before 3 p.m. on Monday. But during a firearms check around 3:40 the following morning, officers discovered the weapons and ammunition were missing. An investigation was launched immediately. The incident comes nearly 4 months after a major security breach at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station, where an armory was found emptied of firearms and ammunition. Following that heist, municipal police officers were instructed to lodge their weapons at police stations under stricter accountability measures. This has been Headline News. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
It is Friday morning in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world. Welcome to the Morning Brew, everyone. I'm Ryan Beach, who's sitting in for Jason Williams for the final time this week. Jason is off at Canto in the Dominican Republic. It's been a real great pleasure to sit in this chair over the last 3 years. And of course, thanks to my colleague, Bhavita Gopal-Chan, who would have started off the week on Monday and Tuesday. Let's jump right into it. Is the fly in the ointment of crime fighting in this country lying within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, particularly with rogue police officers? 7 police officers have now been arrested in what a continuing search for firearms, missing firearms and ammunition from the Port of Spain police station. This is a very deep story. What might be an administrative error has now turned into 7 police officers now being arrested. It's a major twist in the probe into the theft of guns and ammunition. It's 3 firearms are missing, a quantity of ammunition also missing from the Central Police Station. That's located on St. Vincent Street, not very far from our building, right here in Port of Spain. There's really interesting facts surrounding this. So the 7 police officers have since been arrested. However, how did we get to this point? Well, initially 3 were arrested, and we spoke to Inspector Kurt Callender yesterday on rogue police officers, and he gave the commitment of both the Commissioner of Police and the Professional Standards Bureau that they are working very hard to weed out rogue police officers. However, these municipal police officers returned their firearms, lodged it at the Port of Spain Central Police Station, and then would have went about their business. It would have gone missing, and since then, the search has been on for it, and those culpable in who would have, moved on with it. You'd remember 4 months ago, in the case of the San Fernando Municipal Police Station, where Corporal Anushka Eversley would have been murdered, You would have remembered that it is on the back of that case that municipal police officers were asked to lodge their firearms and ammunition at police stations instead of municipal police stations. And that would have seemingly been to have better accounting, to be more transparent, so that it was taken in a more serious way. And 4 months after that happened, here you have municipal police officers taking their firearms, lodging their firearms at a very important police station, by the way. This is at the Central Police Station on St. Vincent Street. This is opposite the Parliament building. And it's gone missing. This was supposed to be the answer to that which would have happened in San Fernando, in which a woman corporal, Anushka Eversley, was murdered. And still, up to this day, 4 months later, we still don't have an inventory of how many firearms and ammunition are still missing and would have been missing from down in San Fernando. And so it takes me back to the question of, is the fly in the ointment of this crime fight in Trinidad and Tobago really resting not so much with the gangsters that have been ordered preventive detention orders or who are still out in the streets, but more so with the rogue police officers that continue to fester like a cancer within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? More importantly this morning, we've been talking extensively about the police posts that are to be manned by police officers and joint army patrols over the next few months. Where does this leave that conversation and the police officers that are being assigned to those police posts that have to engage, according to Inspector Calendar yesterday, that have to engage with police, with residents of various communities across 30 communities, 30 plus communities soon across Trinidad and Tobago? Where does the confidence level really sit with the public? How do you get a level of confidence? How do you have a level of confidence in the police service when the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning says that 7 cops have been arrested in connection with these missing firearms and ammunition from the Port of Spain police station? It's a very, very difficult task for the Commissioner of Police and his fellow hierarchy to really weed out these police officers. And to his credit, he has been trying, and it's very difficult. But it gives you an idea of just the level of corruption within the police service that this country is dealing with, and why the road back from the crime-ridden streets that we have really is a long, arduous, very difficult one that will not happen in 1 week or 1 year. It's a real difficult situation. Because on the back of San Fernando, it was on the back of what happened at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station 4 months ago, in which a corporal, Anushka Eversley, was murdered. Firearms and ammunition still unaccounted for. Still, we don't know how many are missing. Still, we don't know how many were taken 4 months later. It was on the back of that we ended up in this new criteria for municipal police officers to lodge their firearms and ammunition at police stations, no longer at municipal police stations. And then now, they've done that. They've lodged it at the Port of Spain Central Police Station, and we've ended up in the same position where we were at 4 months ago. It's gone missing. There's an investigation into officers. 7 have now been arrested, none yet charged on it. But the depth of which this crime fight has taken is a very, very concerning moment, given that many police officers are now going to be deployed at police posts across the country. And we are depending on these officers to have integrity. We are depending on these officers to be proactive. We are depending on these police officers to push and to be aggressive in the crime fight, whether it's a petty crime of a stolen cell phone or stolen jewelry, to a home invasion. We are depending on these police officers. And you hope that when you go to these police posts, you hope that when you make a call, that the police officers can act with integrity and urgency. And they're not culpable in stealing firearms and ammunition to God knows where those ammunitions and firearms are going. So it's a really, really precarious position that we found ourselves in this fight against crime. And I always say in the same breath that we have really good police officers who show up every morning and they go out on the front lines and they put their lives on the line. And it is a dangerous job, one of the most dangerous we have in this country. But then we have police officers who are culpable in stealing firearms and ammunition, unaccounted for, in police stations across this country. And we have no idea where these firearms and ammunition are going, whether it's into the hands of criminals, whether it's in the hands of gangsters, whether it's actually being sent off to different places around the Caribbean, around Latin America. We just don't know. And we don't know from people that we ought to have accounting from. And it's a very, very, very concerning place to be for Trinidad and Tobago. Let's check out some of the other stories that have made the front page of the TNT Guardian newspaper this morning. On the top right blurb, a mother of one was gunned down in Sangre Grande. And also, Public Service Association protests have stalled WASA negotiations. And also, Farley Augustine says a new Tobago airport will be opened before October. So he's giving the assurance that the airport terminal in Tobago will be opened by October or even before October. Of course, October being the month that Tobago celebrates its second carnival. Let's also have a look at the back pages of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper, where Ramnath is aiming to stay perfect. An unbeaten Trinidad and Tobago, an unbeaten Barbados will face off against each other today in the women's under-19 tournament. And it's going to be a really, really interesting match because Samara Ramnath has 15 wickets for Trinidad and Tobago's young divas. She's been doing fantastic throughout this tournament. She's going to be called upon to really work hard against Barbados and work her magic against Barbados today in this preliminary final match. And it's going to be a really epic match as well. Well, that will ultimately really decide how this tournament goes. So good luck to Samara Ramnath. Good luck to the Trinidad and Tobago young divas. I'm sure that they'll do exceptionally well and do us exceptionally proud against Barbados as well. Let's have a quick look at the briefs section as well, where you can get a breakdown of what's in the Guardian newspaper and some really exciting news down there at the bottom. Our United Nations young leader Anthurium Lewis, just 17 years old, she stood out among her peers on Wednesday at the annual Tobago Youth Awards at the Magdalena Grande Beach and Gulf Resort. Anthurium won awards in education. She won awards in youth service as well. She's been doing exceptionally well. She's also named the youth leader among the age group 10 to 17. The right picture is LeBron Alexander collecting the People's Choice Award from the Chief Secretary, Farley Augustine. There you can get a breakdown of all the major stories we have in the TNT Guardian newspaper this morning, including that fireworks return to the Queen's Park Savannah for this year's Independence Day celebrations, with the government planning a mix of traditional and low-noise fireworks alongside a drone display and cultural showcase. How is this sitting with the Citizens Against Noise Pollution? It seems that we're going back and forth. We're stepping one step forward, two steps backward when it comes to this conversation surrounding fireworks. We're going to be discussing this very important issue as we march towards the country's 64th anniversary of independence next with Lindy Ann Bechu from the Citizens Against Noise Pollution. Stay with us here in the Morning Brew. We've got a really great show for you, including the CPL Breakfast Show. The Guyana Amazon Warriors beating the Jamaica Kingsmen last night in the Caribbean Premier League. We'll have full highlights of that match plus analysis. We'll also be showing you a replay of that match on CNC3 from 1 p.m. But in the meantime, stay with us, because when we come back, the Citizens Against Noise Pollution will react on the Morning Brew to Independence Day fireworks returning to the Queen's Park Savannah, this time in both traditional and drone ways.
And they like how Trini does go. And they like to hear Trini talk.
Okay, let me see you Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right, now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy.
Rock off,
unbeatable
rock
taste,
off.
new look.
Shake off, let me see you rock off, rock off.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gala Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, teaching the truth about God's people, God's plans, and the secrets of God, all written within the pages of the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. Watch The Hidden Truth every Thursday at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. on CNC3.
Welcome back to the Morning Brew, everyone. I'm Ryan Beachu. Happy to be in your company on this Friday morning. I hope that you have a great weekend ahead. In the interim, we're also looking ahead to Independence Day celebrations. It's back, and the government is promising that they will have both traditional fireworks, what they term low-noise fireworks, as well as a drone show. This is not sitting well with the Citizens Against Noise Pollution. It's back and forth with this topic, and I want to welcome to the program from the Citizens Against Noise Pollution, TT, Lindian Beachu. Lindian, good morning and welcome to the program. Happy to have you back.
Good morning.
Lindian, why is it that we keep going forward and backward with this topic of fireworks?
You know, it's simply because some things are entrenched. Noise pollution in general in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a cultural mindset telling us that if it's not loud, it's not celebratory. And one of the things that we recognize is that the fireworks celebration is something that many developed countries, the public displays, they are moving forward with, looking at quieter alternatives. Now, we must be fair that we commend the government, we welcome the move that they are actually exploring a mixture. I mean, at this point in time, it's really that they have put out that it's going to be a mixture of a drone show as well as low noise fireworks and then some traditional fireworks. And what CAMP wants to state publicly is that we recognize that change can be transitional. Of course, our goal is to ensure that there's a reduction in excessive noise, but we recognize that this is a meaningful starting point.
Where do you hope and when do you hope that this transition will end and we will move to a more noiseless celebration, not only of Independence Day, but also of New Year's Day, of Diwali, of all of these celebrations that we use fireworks for? When do you hope that some type of legislation, some type of cultural change will take place, that the citizens who are affected most and also animals are affected will be able to have these nights of peace?
Well, you know, one of the major concerns with the execution of fireworks is that it is sometimes in the hands of everyday citizens who are not aware of how to properly use them, and then also have access to fireworks that are quite noisy. They're explosive in nature, and we are really hoping that by the end of the year that we can see a much more another progressive step by the government in looking at the legislation, because we recognize that, for instance, in other countries, the access in particular to everyday fireworks by the public, it's tiered. So you do not have access to particular decibel level fireworks, all right? And why is that important? Because of the health impact. I mean, the explosive nature of fireworks means that we have very vulnerable people in our society having severe anxiety. And this is not just a human health impact. This is also a health impact on animals and anybody who's vulnerable. We just have to look back at last year at Kimani Gordon, who was just a few days old and died. Why did he die? Because it was alleged that he was subjected to hours of explosive fireworks, and some of these fireworks can range up to 150 decibels. That is not only alarming, that's a health crisis in itself, all right? And when we look at that health impact in terms of severe anxiety, we have sometimes disorientation, injury to animals, all right? And then you have very vulnerable citizens who have no choice but to cower in their homes. We really want to look at the progression and moving away from the traditional type of fireworks being used by the being used for public displays and for state-sponsored events, and also looking at a tiered approach for access to fireworks by ordinary citizens.
For a government, Lindian, that started out very quickly out of the starting blocks to try to get legislation, to try to understand and maybe give the perception that they understood that there's this problem of noise pollution in this country that's affecting animals, that's affecting the elderly, that's affecting the vulnerable, that's affecting ordinary citizens. Have you been surprised over a year later of this government that no real progress has been made with regards to noise pollution?
You know, Brian, I can't say that there hasn't been progress, because just by the fact that the government has engaged, right, and has amended the Fireworks Act, right, it's not where we want it, you know, ideally to be, but there are meaningful steps being made. And we have to commend, you know, our authorities when they are making steps, simply because this has not been addressed for a very long time. It's a long-standing problem that people have complained over years. It just takes one activity, one festival for the news to highlight just how detrimental, especially it's rife on social media, to show the detrimental impact that it has in particular on animals and very vulnerable citizens. So, you know, we must commend them for at least trying to take these steps. And like I said before, we recognize that change can be transitional. So we are really hopeful, and we want to continue to implore the government to take the necessary steps that the transition can come as soon as perhaps maybe later this year, when we have New Year's and Old Year's coming up and going into the carnival season.
Well, I think a lot of people may disagree with you, especially those who have to endure noise pollution, not necessarily with fireworks. And I'm sorry if I sort of give you the impression that I was talking specifically about fireworks. I'm talking about noise pollution in general, from bars, restaurants, from cars playing music, etc. Because what we've seen in the public forum that you and your team hosted at Chaguanas Borough Corporation last week is that now noise pollution is actually escalating into forms of violence in communities across the country.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up that, Ryan, because fireworks is just one source of noise pollution. We have a serious problem in Trinidad and Tobago. From CAMP's research, it has been identified that loud music in particular is a serious concern. Why are we saying this? Because we have citizens, we have commercial establishments in this country without the necessary checks and without the necessary regulations, blasting amplified music, especially at hours when people are trying to rest. This is unacceptable. And what we have recognized as well is that it's a cultural mindset. and there needs to be urgent reform in how we tackle noise pollution. Now, like I said, there have been some steps that have been made in addressing open air fests, and especially with them being situated close to residential areas. But the problem still lies right now in the enforcement. We still have a bit of a disconnect in terms of enforcement with regards to addressing residential noise, with the EMA and the TTPS still having to iron out, right, who is addressing this noise, because the TTPS is not equipped with noise meters, and by the noise pollution regulations, the EMA is not equipped either to address noise pollution in residential areas where most of the complaints are coming from. So we need to have some short-term measures. So while the government is looking at long-term legislation to address this problem, there's an urgent need to, one, sensitize the population about the detrimental effects of noise pollution, in particular loud music that is being blasted from amplified speakers.
I'm sorry to cut you in, Lydian, but I feel the need to ask, why is legislating this so difficult for any government?
I think it's because it looks at, one, attacking a cultural mindset, and then there are commercial interests that are involved. When you have bars and lounges and other type, even fete-like activities, and you tell them, listen, there needs to be regulation, all right, it causes a lot of furor over that. And this is something that we just have to take the bull by its horns and address it, because too many people are suffering. Ryan, since you covered the forum last week, there were testimonials that have been submitted to us over the years, even within the last month or so, and we have people in our country, citizens, sleeping in a closet. We have people leaving their homes for days on end, trying to escape the loud music that is being played in their home, and that is going against their constitutional right to rest in their own home.
Let's bring up a very important point that former independent senator Dr. Varma Diyal Singh made at that forum. And he was saying that testimonials are great, but instead of those testimonials, citizens who are having problems with noise pollution in their communities should be writing to their representatives, writing to their members of parliament in droves, writing to the senators, independent and on the bench, on opposing benches, writing to them and letting them know that this is hazardous, that this is a nuisance, that this is interfering with their sleep and their health. Do you think that can maybe accelerate the movement towards legislation for noise pollution?
Of course. At camp, we have encouraged over the years many of our members. We keep asking them to write to their members of parliament. We keep asking them to write to their councillors so that there's something on record. And why I'm glad that you brought up that, Ryan, because we have had precedents before in tackling the long-standing problem many decades ago of loud music in maxi taxis. The then Minister of Transport at that time, Mr. Imbu, would have said publicly on the Hansard that he was bombarded by letters from the public. And I mean, this was at a time when there was no email, there was no easy electronic form of communication. So there were ordinary citizens writing to the Minister of Transport and writing to their MP, sending letters, as you said, in the droves. And that was one of the reasons that kind of pushed the legislation to pass about loud music in maxi taxis. So again, we are asking members of the public, do not sit idle. This is something that is affecting your families and it is affecting your communities, all right? And we need to ask them again, be strong and right. Change is coming, but it has to start from you, asking your members of parliament to lobby for changes and lobby for it urgently.
I want to end by agreeing with you that this is the furthest that we've come in terms of having some type of conversation or legislation, potential legislation on noise pollution. Do you feel optimistic under this administration and the conversations they've at least been having with organizations like the ones that you are with? Do you feel optimistic that some type of legislation can come out of this at some point over the next 4 years?
Yes, I am optimistic. At camp, we are optimistic simply because this long-standing problem has not been addressed for decades. And before the change in government, we were actually looking to march. And then when there was a change and the first initial set of noise pollution laws came into place, we said, well, okay, let's see how this goes. But what we are really trying to say here now is that there is still an urgent need to address the short-term problems that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, in particular with loud music. So we are again urging the government to look to your technocrats, to look at the authorities on the ground who are in charge on a day-to-day basis in addressing these problems and help the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because it is right now a crisis. We had Dr. Valmiki Arjun again citing in last week's forum the productive costs that it is on citizens when they are sleep deprived, as well as going into the economic effects of productivity for citizens.
Lydian, very quickly, do you feel the oncoming police posts should also be tackling noise pollution within neighborhoods, the communities that they operate in? Is that something that should also be under their ambit?
Yes, they should. We hope that these police forces would also start engaging in dialogue in their communities, because that's what they are. They are community posts, all right? And part of this is, helping to sensitize, because some people are aware and some people are not aware. You need to help us sensitize these individuals that, what you are doing is wrong, and you need to be considerate. There needs to be, in this theme of independence, a civic-minded duty to one another. And we are hoping that as we go forward, because there have been some initial steps, in particular under the National Security Ministry, the Police and Support Committee under Mr. Zahir Ali, there have been actually some steps being taken to develop a national noise policy. And so this is something that is coming on stream, and we are hoping to see the draft of this very soon. In the light of day, we are employing the AG's office as well to look at this urgently. But yes, we are hoping that the officers who are stationed at these posts take an active role in dialoguing in the communities that they are in to stem this problem.
Lydian Bechu, Vice President of Operations at the Citizens Against Noise Pollution. Always appreciate you opening up yourself to have this conversation with us on the Morning Brew.
We thank you so much, Ryan, for having us.
Appreciate your time, Lydian. Stay with us here on the Morning Brew, because when we come back, there is a super reunion happening on September 12th. A Super Reunion 5 that you may not want to miss. We're up next.
Thinking it's time to upgrade your fridge? Now's a great time to do it at Quartz. Get 15% off fridges $5,999 and over when you shop with Quartz Ready Finance on 24-month and over credit accounts. So whether you need more space, better cooling, or simply a fresh new look for your kitchen, come into Quartz and find the fridge that's right for your home. Upgrade today with a payment plan you'll feel good about. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
Invest in every innings. Is this the best match of the season? Yes, it is. With the Unitrust Corporation on your team, it's the best match every season. Stop settling for less. Access the best performing funds on the market with the highest income fund rates in the industry with UTC on your side and its 44 years of investment experience. You won't just support the winning team, you'll be part of one. Visit the nearest investment center, agency, or ttutc.com to sign up today.
Adventure, discovery, and relaxation await you at La Vega Estate. Open daily, including weekends and public holidays. There's something for everyone. Right into excitement on daily ATV tours with beginner to advanced options for ages 16 and up. Join knowledgeable guides for wildlife, ecology, and origin tours, spotting animals in their natural habitat. Kids can enjoy sensory tours too. Unwind at the nature park and pools. Then visit our well-stocked garden center. La Vega Estate. Experience it all.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Attention all listeners, are you ready for the ultimate news experience? Introducing the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the nation's first and most subscribed newspaper. We deliver where others can't. With the widest delivery network in TNT, you can have the Guardian delivered right to your doorstep or office every single day. Take advantage of our special annual subscription offer so you can stay on top of the leading stories even when you're on the go. Sign up today. Time is running out. Inquire about our 3-month and 6-month packages as well.
As parents and teachers, we came together to establish the National Council of Parent-Teacher Association because we firmly believe that there is greater strength in unity. Today, our schools face real challenges: bullying, violence, and fear. No parent should send a child to school and wonder if they will be safe. No teacher should walk into a classroom afraid of losing control. That's why we welcome the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service into our schools. They bring expertise, they bring skill, and most importantly, they bring the reassurance that learning can happen in peace. We believe in unity. Now we are stronger. We are on board with the police.
The School-Oriented Policing Initiative. Securing our schools, securing our future.
Full and proud, yet somehow I see all this foolery as window dressing. There's still a blessing. You see, I just see Tokorikyu, peace, rice, and cascade.
The past will reunite with the present on September 12th as Holy Cross College hosts a Super Reunion 5. I have with me two committee members, Sheridan Hill, as well as Israel Duncan. Israel is the immediate past president and Sheridan is the immediate past vice president. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Happy to have you on.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Tell me a little bit about this Super Reunion 5 that's carded for September 12th.
Slight correction, Super Reunion 4.
It's 4?
4, yes. And
next year will be the big 5.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so I'll give you the who, what, where, when, why. All right, so the who is the Holy Cross College Alumni Association, which has been in existence for 64 years. The school is 69 years, right? And we are inviting all alumnus, each alumnus from all the class years. So we expect 64 class years to be represented there.
So this isn't just like a class of 1990, a class of 1995. Everyone who's gone to Holy Cross College.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And we invite the past teachers and present teachers. Right? So it's just the boys. Right? The what? This is SR4 Super Reunion 2026. Right, and we're going to have events like futsal competition, song off, a cookout. The why camaraderie, to build that camaraderie, the networking, so that we could build the strength of the alumni itself, so we could in turn help the school in a better way. All right? The where, it's at the college grounds, Calvary Hill Arima, and like I said, the when, the 12th of September 2026, gates open at 11 a.m.
Right. I want to dig a little bit, Israel, into the why a little bit more. Why do you see this as really important to bring everyone, not just the class, but everyone together in 2026 for Holy Cross?
Ryan, the reason for that primarily is the end game is nepotism. If we are in an interview, 5 guys in an interview, and you are the yay or nay person, and we are all similarly qualified, and our rings match, we both went to St. Mary's or QRC or a school in Princestown, I expect that, you know, that brotherhood, that brotherly love is shown, you know, and that's how we build family. So we're trying to build strength in that family and do like what the bigger schools do, show love for each other. The QRCs, the CICs, the Fatimas, you know.
You know, Sheridan, Israel says bigger schools, but Holy Cross is actually a quite important school in the context of Trinidad and Tobago. We were going through a list of, before the cameras started rolling, we were going through a list of alumni.
And we've had some outstanding citizens.
Had a World Cup player, Kelvin Jack.
Precisely. And then, you know, around my time, we had Mr. Lyndon Giuseppe, who's one of the biggest bankers in the Caribbean. In fact, Kennedy Swarat Singh, Dr. Kennedy. Yes, they both attended Holy Cross while I was there. The former Vice Chief of Defense Staff was also 1 year after me, which
West
is
Indies player and former West Indies coach.
Philip Simmons, the Commissioner of Prisons. In fact, one of my classmates, Dr. Roger Andrews, is a senior lecturer in the Department of Physics, and Dr. Robert Martinez, former Director of Research at Pfizer Corporation, who is now the head of innovation incubator lab at Astellas in Cambridge, Massachusetts. One of my classmates, Mr. Eric Paul, is a FAA inspector in the U.S.
So when Israel says about the bigger schools, Holy Cross has actually done a huge contribution to this country.
Precisely. So we're right up there with them. We may not be in existence as long as the CICs and QRCs and so on, but we are also making our contribution.
But the Alumni Association is also quite an old institution because it's over 60 years old. I think you mentioned 65. 64 years old. What role and how important has that role been for the Alumni Association to give back over 6 decades to that school?
We think it's important that after you've attended an institution like Holy Cross, that you contribute to the school, but also the principle of giving back, that community spirit. We want to ensure that when students attend the school, it's not just about getting a very good education, but also about commitment to the college and giving back to society. So in life, we believe in the principle of helping the weaker ones and helping in general. So that's a big part of what the alumni is all about.
Yeah, Israel, helping students, especially of this current generation, is actually quite important given the challenges that students face right now. The Alumni Association's work takes on an even greater role for the present-day students at Holy Cross College.
That is correct. While I was waiting to speak to you, I was chatting with some persons outside, and a young man is waiting to come in after us. And it's simple, you know, his mother is there with him, and it's all about that support. You know, knowing that there's somebody there that you could look to if needs be. You know, so it's simple. That support is so important, and we underrate it a lot.
Yeah. Holy Cross College now, what do you see as the role of the school in the era of artificial intelligence, in the era of this digital transformation that we are going through now? How do you feel the school is living up to the expectation of education in the 21st century?
To a large extent we are, but there's always room for improvement, and we feel this is where the alumni can play a significant role. For those of us who are qualified, experienced, knowledgeable, and so on, assist the school in various ways, especially the current student body. So we believe it's important that when students leave the college, they come back and share. And I recall a couple of years ago, every year there's a career day. And a couple of years ago, I actually participated in the alumni. There was an alumni booth where you see, I think it's important that students of the school see members of the alumni coming back who are excelling and contributing to society in different ways, and also about mentoring the younger students.
All right. One more time, Israel, give us the who, what, why, where, when. It's happening on September 12th.
Correct. So Holy Cross College Alumni Association invites all alumnus, each and every one, and past and present teachers. Right? The what? It's SR4 Super Union 2026, and we have competitions like futsal, a sound off. We have a cookout, curry duck actually, and my class of 99 is the current reigning champions of that. All right.
That'll be short-lived.
So we're going to have a couple of orchestra bands playing, including our own alumni, and we're going to have a couple alumni DJs and artists. Right? The where at the college grounds, Calvary Hill Arena. The when, September 12th, gates open at 11 a.m. And we are having it, just to mention quickly, it's always the closest Saturday to the Feast of the Holy Cross.
Ah, I see. Right? So there's a connection. It's not coincidental.
Correct.
Israel Duncan, Sheridan Hill, appreciate you guys being on the program. Good luck on September 12th.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Paging all Holy Cross students, both past and present, September 12th, there will be class reunion, all classes for 69 years. It'll be a class reunion on September 12th at Holy Cross College grounds. Stay with us here in the Morning Brew, because when we come back, they'll cut an album. We'll tell you more about it on the back of this break.
Your Majesty, what comes after victory?
Growth. History's greatest rulers never stop at the triumph. They build what comes next. Finance your next chapter with First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
Mom, Dad, this is Trevor.
Hi. He's no Kieran. Back up.
Fling? That's why he crossed the road. It was funny when Kieran said it.
Oh, who could that be?
We're like the parents who don't miss your ex.
I can't believe Kieran is in the neighborhood.
CG United. Good like that.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Dust, allergies, congestion, dry air, your nose deals with it all. Now there's one solution designed to do more. NeilMed Nasa Mist All-in-One combines 3 specially designed nozzles in one convenient can. Spray or irrigate to cleanse, moisturize, and soothe nasal passages with sterile, preservative-free, pH-balanced saline. Relief from allergies, congestion, sinus pressure, and everyday nasal irritation. Neil Med Nasa Mist All-in-One. One spray. 3 ways to breathe better. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
On July 31st, the Delcata album was officially launched, and I have the pleasure of welcoming to the program Kaylin Ramsaran, who is the singer, and Dylan Basant, who is the producer. Welcome to the program. Great to have you guys on.
And thank you so much for having us.
Kaylin, let's start with you. Tell us about Delcata album.
Okay, well, Delcata album, it's a project he's actually been working on for his last year in UTT. It's a fusion of J-pop, soul, funk, jazz, a lot of different genres, but primarily J-pop. There are 5 tracks on the album. 4 of them are actually sung by me. The last one is instrumental, and I sing both in English and Japanese.
Really?
Yeah.
What inspired you, Dylan?
Well, growing up, I've always really had a love and passion for East Asian media. I grew up, well, my dad always used to love like Hong Kong cinema, like Bruce Lee, so I started with that. And then through there, as I got into my teen years, I really got into anime. And it was through there I discovered Japanese music, J-pop. And it was sort of like a domino effect of me starting with this one genre style of music that you find in anime. Then it then stemmed from me branching into different genres like jazz fusion and city pop and whatnot. So,
how long did it take you to put together this album?
I have been working on this project for about 1.5 years. So, as Kaylin mentioned before, I started this project as in my final year at UTT. I studied under Martin Raymond, digital media arts, and this was my capstone project. And I continued working on it after I would have graduated, and after 1.5 years later, I'm happy to say I finally, finished it. I'm very proud of it. It's come a long way.
You should be. J-pop music is also making its way around the world, kind of like when the Nigerian beat was sort of making its way. Yeah, J-pop is now that in many ways.
Definitely, and it's a growing style of music in the Western Hemisphere, but particularly in the Caribbean region. You see a lot of people, especially in the younger generation, they start to get they're be a lot more expressive when it comes to anime and manga and that subculture of media.
Kaylin, you mentioned, I hope I'm not misquoting you here, that you would have sung some songs, some lines in Japanese.
So actually, I think 3 out of the 4 songs that I did sing were fully in Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah, I think one of the songs, I believe it is the 4th track, the 3rd track, Conversations. The 2nd track, yes, the 2nd track on the album is the only song in English.
Do you know Japanese, or do you know just know the songs?
I just know the songs. So Delcata, or Dylan, actually he is learning Japanese, and he worked closely with Yoichi Watanabe, one of his professors at UTT, to actually translate the songs, and would also help to coach me on learning the lyrics and translations, and my tone and intonation. However, I'm not really, it's not foreign to me to sing in different languages. I'm also familiar with singing in Spanish. I'm very much a Parangale through and through. So it was honestly pretty smooth sailing for me to, kind of switch over from English to Japanese.
What was that experience like, though? Because it's a less of a known genre in Trinidad and Tobago.
I think working on the album as a whole, it actually ended up being something that was pretty familiar to me. So just like Dylan, I was also introduced to anime at around a young age when I was in primary school, and I started falling in love with it. And then even as a vocal artist, I think that it's great to kind of, get a feel for different genres. And I ended up having a previous love for J-pop, and I think it was absolutely amplified when Delcata asked me last year to work on this project with him. Yeah.
Dylan, do you feel that there's a place that we're such a multicultural, and in that multiculturalism in Trinidad and Tobago, there are so many different genres of music that people enjoy. Do you think that J-pop will catch on in the way that rock music and alternative music and soca music have down the years?
I definitely think so, because as you had previously mentioned, we always see a culture cultural influence from a different part of the world, you know. So at the start of this decade, we saw a huge explosion in Afrobeats and whatnot. And right now, we're currently experiencing that wave of East Asian music, you know. So we have music not just from Japan, but also with Korea, you know, that's very popular as well. So I definitely think, and especially here with the younger generation, that demographic of people who are very much into that subculture of media, it is growing at an exponential rate.
What's your next project, and is it going to be along the same lines?
I don't want to reveal too much about my upcoming...
Give us an exclusive. It's right here on the Morning Brew.
I'm working on a follow-up album. Definitely, it also will be fusion-based. However, it will be a slightly different approach. It will still have the roots that which this first project had, but I want to be a little more experimental with actually a lot more local and regional styles of music, because me as a producer, I always like to experiment with different styles of music. You know, I'm somebody who loves learning about different cultures and whatnot, and I want that to be reflected in my music.
I'm running out of time. I have to head to the 7 o'clock news. What was it like working with each other, Kaylin?
It was absolutely seamless. I mean, Dylan and I are actually related. We're cousins, full disclosure, but we didn't end up working professionally until last year when he approached. I mean, he always knew I could sing. I always knew he was into music, and he was producing at UTT, but it wasn't
just a perfect
collaboration. Yes, and he ended up really liking how I sounded, my tone, and I was actually only supposed to be singing one track on the album, but as it progressed, we ended up just working seamlessly together. It was absolutely amazing to be working with him, one of my best friends at this point. I think it was really, really wonderful, and the experience on a whole was great.
Where can people, we've been hearing the hum of the music in the background throughout this interview. Where can people get the album?
So it's currently available on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. You could follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Dilcutta, that's DILLCUTTA.
And you can find me on Instagram at theofficial.kiko, THEOFFICIAL.KIKO.
Kaylin Ramsaran, Dylan Basant, congratulations on the Dilcutta album. Good luck in all of the other albums that you'll produce in the coming years.
Thank you very much.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much. Let's head to the 7 o'clock news. When we come back, we'll recap the first hour of the Morning Brew and look forward to a packed second hour. Stay with us.
Truth be told, here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. It seems to me there's a power in listening. It seems like that is a part of the mandate.
Of course. We need to listen to our clients. We need to hear what they need. We need to hear that they are satisfied, they are loved, they are feeling that GMMB culture.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Kay Marie Fletcher with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says the Tobago House of Assembly has zero objections to police posts on the island. In an interview with the media yesterday, Augustine said police posts are not new to the island. The government will be establishing 30 posts at various locations across the country, extending the arm of law enforcement into communities. Augustine noted joint police and army patrols have been a successful crime-fighting strategy in Tobago in the past. He believes the public would welcome the posts as an increased police presence makes people feel safer.
In 2024, when we had our highest levels of murders, part of that strategy included joint patrols and included police posts in places where none exist. People perhaps don't even realize that at this very moment, a police post was established at the community center in Golden Lane. Remember we had all those issues where it's Christmas and people being torched in fire and attempted murders and so on in Golden Lane? We set up a police post in the community.
7 police officers are under arrest as investigators probe the disappearance of 3 firearms and ammunition from the Central Police Station in Port of Spain. Senior police officials confirmed the officers from varying ranks were on duty during the shift when the weapons went missing. The missing items include 3 Glock pistols, 3 magazines, and 45 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Police said the firearms were lodged for safekeeping by Port of Spain municipal police officers shortly before 3 p.m. on Monday. But during a firearms check around 3:40 the following morning, officers discovered the weapons and ammunition were missing. An investigation was launched immediately. The incident comes nearly 4 months after a major security breach at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station, where an armory was found emptied of firearms and ammunition. Following that heist, municipal police officers were instructed to lodge their weapons at police stations under stricter accountability measures. Police are continuing investigations into the shooting death of 30-year-old mother of 1, Chanel Lewis, in front of her Sandy Grande home yesterday. Lewis was walking out of her home shortly after 8 Thursday morning when a lone gunman ambushed her, shooting her in the forehead and abdomen. Residents heard 2 loud explosions and later saw a white Nissan March speeding away from Brooklyn Road. Police and task force officers responded after receiving reports of the shooting around 8:30 a.m. and found Lewis bleeding profusely on the roadway. Paramedics took her to Sandy Grande Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. Police have not established a motive and are reviewing CCTV footage as they continue their investigation. Lewis was described by relatives as intelligent, ambitious, and friendly, while her death has left residents of the community shocked and questioning why she was targeted. This has been Headline News. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
and the bacchanal, calypso.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Morning Brew, and we're kicking it off with Mind Your Business, and it's with Kieran Isaac joins us today. He's the owner of Kingdom Ibis. I actually had the honor of meeting Kieran in mid-June when the Aruka Seventh-day Adventist Church hosted a career fair. That's where we first crossed paths when I attended, and it was a fantastic event then. Now, if you're seeing Kieran in academics, if you're seeing him at the Aruka SDA Church, if you're seeing him in business, he wears many hats. Kieran, welcome to the program. Happy to have you on.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me, and good to see you again.
Good to see you again as well. This time, we're not going to be talking about church matters, but we're going to be talking about Kingdom Ibis.
Yes, that is correct.
Explain your business to us.
All right, so Kingdom Ibis is a brand that I started. It centers around the Scarlet Ibis, of course. So it stemmed from a book I had done called I Am the Tree, which the cover was centered around the Caroni Bird Sanctuary. I grew up like an animal enthusiast. I love birds, and I wanted to prolong the conservation message just beyond just the story. So I thought of launching a line with Scarlet Ibis themed merchandise, which I feel like I hadn't really seen before. So I tried like bucket hats, umbrellas, fans, and it just became a life of its own. And yeah, we just continued to press. And I like the name Kingdom Ibis because it represents me building a kingdom out of the ibis, and also the initials are K and I, and my initials are Kieran.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's a brilliant idea, especially with the Scarlet Ibis being Trinidad and Tobago's national bird.
Correct.
What inspired you beyond, your love and your passion? Why did you feel the need to translate this into a business and merchandise where people can buy hats or they can buy umbrellas?
Yeah, nice. So I kind of call it like wearable art, or like a wearable canvas where you are the message. So it's like it's almost like becoming synonymous with you. So it's like you have
your identity. It's on your DNA kind of thing.
Precisely. Yeah. So you wear it like I almost see the hat as like a crown, and the umbrella is like a shield. So it's like it's part of who we are, connected to us. So that's really the message I want to underscore with Kingdom Ibis. That is, as you said, like part of our identity. So that kind of excites me in just bridging that gap between us and the ibis.
Yeah. Do you feel though in your work with the Scarlet Ibis and your passion that us as a country in this generation, because I mean, when I went to school in the 90s, it was instilled in us, but do you feel that the Scarlet Ibis and the importance and significance of the ibis continues to resonate? And as you're answering that question, I am going to ask you if you can maybe hold your hat as well as the umbrella, just so that our audience can see it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a great question, because I feel like it's being lost a bit in terms of the younger generation. So I'm really trying to get people back. Yes, like people know it's our national bird, but I feel like beyond that, I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect, which I'm really trying to bridge. And because I think a lot of people they love the brand, and the story behind it is just like I'm trying to get the story as part of the message. I'm getting people a little more passionate about preserving our national bird, and just preserving nature and the ecosystem or what it represents.
How do you hope that your merchandise will do that?
I'm hoping that it could become like a sort of iconography where it's associated with the message. So when you see the ibis and you see Kingdom Ibis, you're like, okay, I am now an ambassador for the kingdom. And it's kind of that connotation where we're in this fight together. So I kind of have the same where I say, let's join hand and wing in conservation. So it's like we kind of bridge in the gap with the ibis. Yeah.
Interestingly, the Scarlet Ibis has been under threat from being poached many times, particularly within that Caroni Swamp area.
Yeah.
You also hope to raise awareness about the sensitivity and the importance of this bird.
Definitely, yeah. So it's interesting because, like I said, I have poetry books as well, and I've always written about the ibis and the plight that it faces. So it's just like different avenues, different vessels for me to still spread awareness and hopefully get people on board and to see it more than just our national bird, but just what it represents for the ecosystem and the importance of the mangrove system as a whole.
Yeah, that's an important point as well.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to merchandise, and especially around significant holidays like Republic Day and Independence Day, we see a lot of red, white, and black. We see the flags. We see, The Scarlet Ibis, though, is taking it in a really different direction.
Sure.
We might see a Scarlet Ibis T-shirt here or there, but it's not fundamentally used.
Right.
You're now using this as the symbol of Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct, absolutely correct. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's the goal, that's the mission. That when people see it, they see Trinidad, and just the overarching story just connects with them.
So it connects with Independence Day. The country is celebrating its 64th anniversary of independence at the end of this month. What do you hope that the merchandise, beyond just making a profit, what do you hope the merchandise really does for the 64th anniversary of independence?
I hope it would instill a sense of patriotism, amidst whatever struggles we go through. I think it's always important to be optimistic, whatever, as challenging as that may be based on a person's situation. And I think that there's just something so majestic about being connected to the ibis and seeing it in flight. And for me, I'm really passionate about animals, like I said. So to me, just that connectivity between just this story of the ibis and what it represents for us, I would hope that would instill that sense of patriotism in others as well.
You write poetry.
Yeah.
You've now gone into merchandising the Scarlet Ibis. Where do you really hope to take the work that you do with the mangroves and Scarlet Ibis? Where do you hope to take it?
I hope, beyond Trinidad, I hope to take it to the world. I'm hoping that one day the products would be on Amazon. I see it being such a great ambassadorship. I see it cause I also do some really nice photo shoots with people with the umbrellas and stuff like that. I see it as a nice magazine cover to send that message home, even being a part of people who represent us on pageants or even athletes as they represent Trinidad. I feel like it would be cool to see them rocking some, Kingdom, find that out there. Some Kingdom Ibis merch. I think that would be really powerful, a really powerful story, and just a cool way to spread the brand, beyond what it is already.
A lot of people may be watching us, Kieran, and saying, well, Independence Day is on the horizon. They want to, brand it Trinidad and Tobago. This is a unique way of doing it. How can they get in touch? How can they get your merchandise?
Awesome. Yes, you can contact me at 763-8566, or you can follow Kingdom Ibis on all social media platforms. I also just launched a website, www.kingdomibis.com, so that's exciting. And it's also available in Arima at Eastyard Studios, and also Caboodle Gifts, that's located on 107 Long Circular Road. And they also recently launched something called Discovery Club, which is also on their same property, and they highlight a lot of local artisans, and I'm also a part of that. So Caboodle upstairs, Discovery Club downstairs. If you're looking for the building, it's a blue Chinese restaurant at the front. But it's just a beautiful armory of a lot of different local artisans. So you could definitely go there to check us out.
Do you see yourself expanding to other facets of Trinidad and Tobago's ecosystem?
Funny you should say that. I do. Because I am an animal enthusiast, as I said, I do have plans for hopefully other animal species, right? But for now, people kind of associate with me. I joke and say people have me saved under contacts as ibis guy. So I'll work with the ibis, but hopefully use this as a pattern for other species, other bird species and insects and stuff like that. So it should be fun.
Well, Kieran, I know that you're busy at church, you're busy with academics teaching as well, and you're busy with your merchandise. Don't forget to get some rest.
For sure.
Kieran Isaac, the owner of Kingdom Ibis, talking to us about his new merchandise, Kingdom Ibis. You can check them out. Let's take a break here on the Morning Brew, but when we come back, we have another great biodiversity interview for you. We'll be talking about biodiversity in the Caroni Swamp. That's where Kieran would have gotten his inspiration. We'll be talking to Ricardo Mead, the founder of El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation, next.
This give me good reason to be proud of my country. In my country. No circus go, no theater show, can entertain as all the limbo in my land.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95, or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Life, what a wonderful journey we're on. Each stage is unique, and at Tata Life, we not only understand, but also appreciate that you'll have different needs at different times. So trust us to protect you and yours with our comprehensive range of financial planning solutions to ensure that you never, ever have to worry. For the many stages of your life, Tata Life, a member of the Ansa McCall Group.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Meet baby Max and his friends. Growing up strong means getting the right nutrients. That's where Astamin C comes in, packed with essential amino acids and vitamin C to support healthy growth, brain development, strong bones and muscles, better immunity, and appetite in picky eaters. Just 7 drops a day in milk, juice, or directly by mouth. Simple, effective, and nutrient-rich. Give your little one the boost they need to thrive. Astamin C, healthy growth made easy. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Some moments change everything. Your family's first memories. Comfort isn't just about temperature, it's about feeling your best. Whether you're celebrating the big win or making unforgettable memories, the moments that matter deserve comfort you can trust. That's why thousands choose McQuay by Daikin. And now, every purchase of a McQuay air conditioner helps make a difference. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society. Visit your nearest Coolmax or Supercool Limited branch or request McQuay from your trusted AC technician.
Need to open a bank account? There's no time to make the drive to stand in line. Get ready. Opening an account with Republic On Board is easy from anywhere at any time, even while waiting for a food order. So you don't have to skip lunch. Republic On Board. Fast, easy, secure. Visit www.republiconboard.com to open your account today.
What will the weather be like in Sweet TNT this weekend? We are on the cusp of the weekend. Let's check in with Sigoni Mohammed to see what it will be like.
Hi there, I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. Now, it may look relatively quiet outside right now, but don't let that fool you. The weather is set to become more active overnight. The Atlantic right now has a high pressure that remains in control across much of the Eastern Caribbean, and it is maintaining fair to partly cloudy conditions with just a few brief showers. But there is change that is waiting just over to the east in the form of a tropical wave which is approaching the region. And as its moisture and instability begins moving in overnight, we could see increasing cloudiness, scattered showers, and even isolated thunderstorms across parts of the southern Caribbean islands. There is also moisture adding to the atmosphere, but a significant concentration of Saharan dust remains across the region right now, and it is keeping skies noticeably hazy and potentially reducing air quality and visibility for many of us. So anyone sensitive to changes in air quality today should continue taking the necessary precautions where your health is concerned. Now, in the forecast across in Tobago, we can expect hazy, breezy, and at times windy conditions with just a few partly cloudy periods and the chance of an isolated afternoon shower. But for the remainder of today in Trinidad, we expect generally sunny, hazy, and breezy conditions, which will be interrupted by a few partly cloudy spells and isolated showers. There's also the very low chance of an isolated heavy shower or even a thunderstorm, and this is favoring southern parts of Trinidad. So most areas should remain relatively settled, but one or two areas could experience experience a quick burst of heavy rainfall and even gusty winds. You'll also notice that today's temperatures will be running wickedly warm across the island, so pay attention there. But then closer to midnight, look for clouds and showers to begin to develop as moisture associated with the tropical wave approaches. Winds could also become gusty at times, particularly in and around those showers. And if you're heading offshore now, and if that's to beat the heat, you want to pay close attention to changing conditions. Seas remain moderate, becoming occasionally rough, and we've got waves between 1.5 getting up to 2 meters in open waters and occasionally reaching 2.5 meters. As winds begin to strengthen and the tropical wave approaches, seas could become locally rough and choppy, particularly in and around those heavier showers and thunderstorms. Not to mention that spring tide is still in effect, so small craft operators and even fishermen and any other marine users, you should continue to monitor conditions closely and exercise extra caution. So enjoy the relatively quiet weather while it lasts now, because as we get closer to midnight, the clouds begin to build and the chance of showers start to climb. That's your forecast, and that's it from me.
All right, thank you very much, Sigourney. It looks like we can have some type of outdoor activity at some points over the next couple of days. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
We got to protect the children of this nation from all the
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services. Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Name something that people stick their noses into.
The apple bucket, like bobbing for apples.
Where did that answer come from? In the apple bucket.
Tune in to Betterments with host Space, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for a program that educates and is solution-based. Base tackles the issues that matter to you, providing a platform to speak your mind and find solutions. That's Betterments with Base, with a focus on education and resolution. This is all about making things better for you. So if you want to make a difference and have your voice heard, tune into Freedom 106.5 FM and join us for Betterments with Base, Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Better for you. Only on Freedom 106.5 FM, where we believe that your voice matters.
To serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad, I pledge, now that she needs me.
The Caroni Swamp is somewhere that a lot of people know. It's a household name, but few people actually really know about the biodiversity that's hidden in between that swamp. Well, if you're one of those people, then there's an event that's happening on August 19th and 20th, in where you'll be able to learn much more about the biodiversity in the Caroni Swamp. Ricardo Mead, who's the founder of the El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation, joins me now. Ricardo, welcome back to the program. Great to have you on.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and thanks and welcome to all our viewers out there. Thanks for the opportunity to be here with you guys this morning.
Always a pleasure to talk to you, Ricardo. You've already had one biodiversity in the Caroni Swamp for the year. You're going to have another on August 19th and 20th. Tell us about it. I think we might be having some technical challenges with Ricardo that we might have to figure out. We're going to try to get him back shortly, try to solve those technical issues. I think we might have him back now. Ricardo, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
Yeah, I was asking you about the biodiversity in Caroni Swamp. Tell us a little bit about it that's happening on August 19th and 20th.
Well, the Elsakoro Center for Wildlife Conservation has teamed up with Nanan's Caroni Bird Sanctuary Tours to give people a little bit more when they come into the sanctuary for the vacation period. So this event that we have, and it's the second one, it's going to be next week, Wednesday and Thursday. That's the good news. The bad news is that bad news for folks out there is actually that since July 28th, registration has closed. We've had such a tremendous response to this event. It was a feeler. We put it out there to see how people respond during the week. And it was just literally lapped up because it was just such an exciting event. And people believe, yes, this is what I want to bring the family to. This is what I want my kids to come around and see and experience. So it has been tremendous. So that puts us in a position because of the tremendous demand. We're going to have to figure out more dates in September and have this as an ongoing feature during the week going forward. The demand is just so high for this. I keep getting calls every single day with people practically crying when they can't believe that it's already closed. But it was warmly welcomed and well received in July, and we're really looking forward to next week, where we're going to literally step up our game and take it to another level and blow people's minds.
Right. Ricardo, I'm sure that you're heartened by the response that you've gotten since July for this August 19th and 20th Biodiversity Tour. What do you think is driving families and people? Is it a curiosity about biodiversity? Is it a willingness to learn more? Is it a lack of understanding? Maybe it's just family time?
It is literally all of the above. You put them all together. There are all sorts of different people there who are there for, their primary reason is to encounter and see what's going on in the swamp. And we throw in the biodiversity. So animals that you will not actually see in the swamp, but are native to Trinidad and Tobago, you get a chance to see. But not just to see up close and personal, you have a certain level of interactivity and you have your photo ops. So when you leave after the biodiversity part of it there, that's just before the tour, and then you get on the boat and you go down the channels for the tour to see the birds coming into roost. And of course, you will encounter biodiversity along the way. The tour guides are quite knowledgeable and let you know about the formation of the swamp and how it acts, the tidal effects, how it affects almost everything else in Trinidad and Tobago, especially our fish, our nurseries, all your different animals that call the swamp home. And then at the end of it all, humans, such as us, benefit. The swamp is one of the biggest carbon sinks, for carbon sequestration. They're amazing plants as they operate and build both under water and above. So they do a tremendous job to keep Trinidad and Tobago a beautiful, clean space. Yeah, and now it's up for us to do our part.
Have you found it to be a really good educational exercise in which when these participants, when these attendees leave, when they come back off the boat at the end of the tour, they know a lot more about the Caroni Swamp? They have a greater appreciation of the swamp?
Yes, definitely. On any of the tours on any given day, you are educated. You're not just there on a boat ride. There is no music jamming or anything like that there. You have a tour guide who is on the lookout for different aspects of our ecology and different animals there, and would literally get you up close and personal as far as sensibly possible, and you get to encounter. I mean, so many people always talk about the snake over the boat and people screaming and threatening to jump into the water, even though afterwards they realize the snake is fast asleep and has no interest in meeting anybody down below on those boats. So people go there thinking one thing and come back just thrilled by the experience, and then the awe of seeing the national bird of Trinidad come into roost. And now the added feature of the flamingos. Hundreds of flamingos doing their wading movements there in this swamp. It's exciting. I have been on the boat ride, the swamp tour, literally 100 times. And every time it's exciting and different. There's always something different to see. I have seen anteaters. I've seen the common putu. I've seen the advancement of the flamingos from when they were just a few. Now there are literally hundreds, possibly into thousands, and it's just amazing. Amazing what we have here in this country. Amazing the potential we have to reach and teach our citizens, and the amazing potential for ecotourism to be a main driver in this economy. We just have to embrace it. All we have to do is to love, respect, and present what we have, and the rest of the world is going to keep coming here, even though they already know that we are one of the top birding destinations in the world with our more than 500 plus species of birds recorded in these tiny islands of Trinidad and Tobago.
You know, Ricardo, unfortunately, I have to bring this up. I was actually traversing the Caroni Swamp about 3 weeks ago, around there, maybe a month ago. And along parts of the swamp, unfortunately, you could see the human impact of debris, of leftover trash, and it's really a sorry sight along some parts of the Caroni Swamp. Having this biodiversity tour, I hope, would also help in that regard for people to understand what they have, the importance of it, and why conserving it and preserving it and keeping it safe from trash and fridges and televisions and computer screens are important.
Yes, definitely. You to remove humans from planet Earth. Planet Earth is absolutely gorgeous. You put us back, and what do? We litter, we disregard, we destroy. So I'm not for removing human. The last time I checked, I was human also. And I believe we have a place. We can carve out a niche, but carving out a niche doesn't mean the destruction that ultimately harms ourselves. So it's like living in a wooden house and having a bonfire below your house and saying you're roasting stuff. You have to be more aware of your environment, aware of your surroundings. Well, this is what we need from people, and this is what the education is trying to drive home. We need to preserve. People normally say the swamp in a sort of, disdainful way. Oh, in the swamp. No, the swamp is where life began, really, and where life, so much changes. Bad things go in and good things come out. The big fish go up there and they spawn, and now you have thousands and thousands of baby fish. You want to catch your carich, you want to catch your salmon, you want to catch your grouper. It starts in the swamp. The swamp is a nursery. It's a haven. It's a biodiversity hotspot. So much going on in there. And you have to just go in there quietly and look, listen, and learn. And then you're going to come out a better person and more appreciation and love for Trinidad and Tobago. And that's what we want. We want more people. We want the young people to understand this, despite any bad things that's going on, is still a beautiful, beautiful country with so much to offer. And it will still give you an opportunity to have a wonderful and happy life in the future. But you have to embrace its beauty, preserve its beauty, and find a way to share that beauty with the rest of the world.
Due to the public demand, is it now absolutely necessary that you look at different ways and maybe even increasing capacity come September and for the rest of the year, given the demand that you've had in July?
Yes, we definitely have to look at that. I'm struck, awed. I'm just absolutely floored and amazed at the response. We're hoping to reach people. Put it this way, if you're in City Gates and I come off a bus and you're standing there and you ask me a question, 5 minutes later I'll start to talk about the animals and tell you all sort of different stuff. So I will stand and speak to one person. Now that we have over 100 there, and the families, and you see the kids and the parents encouraging the kids to get closer and to learn and ask questions, it's just, it's mind-blowing. It's a wonderful experience. It's like, this is what we have been trying to do for the past 21 years. So here comes another avenue, and we're definitely going to go down that avenue as far as we can go and reach and teach as many people as possible about the beauty that lies within the Nanan, Caroni, Winston Nanan Bird Sanctuary here in Caroni.
Ricardo Meade, appreciate you being on the program. Appreciate the work that you put into the Caroni Swamp, especially in educating people from Trinidad and Tobago about what exactly exists in their country. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful weekend and stay dry.
Same to you. Founder of El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation, Ricardo Mead, talking to us about a great initiative from Winston Nanan and Ricardo Mead. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can stay connected with us on our social media platforms and how you can get in touch with us as well.
I pledge to serve my country.
Everyone loves a champion. A champion performance deserves a champion home. At Classic Tiles, discover premium tiles, stylish bathrooms, luxury vanities, SPC flooring, and everything you need to bring your dream home to life. Because every winning moment deserves a home that looks and feels like a champion. Champions shop at Classic Tiles, located on Endeavour Road, Chaguanas.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Uttaran, weekdays at 6 p.m. on CNC3.
It is always great to be back on the Brew, and it's always great to hear from you. Unfortunately, time on these programs don't always allow us to really take your phone calls, but we do appreciate when you do take the time to send us messages. And so you can reach out to us at tmb@cnc3.co.tt. We have a producer that looks at every email that comes through our inbox. So if you think there's a topic of discussion we should be talking about or people we should be talking to, send us an email at tmb@cnc3.co.tt. You can get in touch with us directly that way. And while you're at it, follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter, which is now X. We're at CNC3 News on Instagram, CNC3 Television on Facebook, and at CNC3 TV on X. Remember to use the hashtag. Use hashtag TMB. That way we'll know that you're communicating with us. And while you're at it, download the CNC3 mobile app. That way you can get the latest developing and breaking news straight to your mobile device. It's Trinidad and Tobago's #1 source for verified information. And you can get so much content on the CNC3 News app, including sport, news and current affairs, international news, regional news. It's all there. Business news. It's all there on the CNC3 News mobile app. And while you're at it, also download the Guardian app. There's the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper at guardian.co.tt, where you'll also be able to get all the latest information of what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Stay updated by browsing through the Guardian website. It's the final day of the week. Let's give you something to think about this morning. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today, from H. Jackson Brown Jr. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. And I actually really like that quote, because in order for you to start achieving whatever goals you've set out for yourself, whether it's next week, next year, it really starts by doing it. And procrastinating doesn't get you closer to your goals. So the best way of really having your goals that you want to accomplish tomorrow is by putting in the work today. Let's take another break. Remember, when we come back, the CPL Breakfast Show is up next. The Jamaica Kings falling to the Guyana Amazon Warriors last night in CPL match number 6. We'll also be joined by Alex Johnson, the head of strategy at CPL. It's all CPL T20 2026 with the Breakfast Show next.
Do you think all dishwashing soaps are the same? With some, they require more effort, and they don't wash as much. Try Dawn and discover its grease cleaning power. Dawn removes stubborn grease easier and faster than others. Additionally, it foam lasts 50% more. With Dawn, you use less product to clean more dishes and save with every wash. Dawn, triple grease cleaning power.
Discover your favorite treat with Casey Candy Gummies. Sweet or sour, dive into a wave of fun shapes and flavors. Our halal gummies are made with fruit juices, and every bite is packed with fun, chewiness, and pure deliciousness. Perfect for an everyday snack, birthday parties, or lunch boxes. Make your snack time irresistible. And enjoy your day with Casey Gummies.
Your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95, or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Welcome back to the Brew, and it's now time for the CPL Breakfast Show. Last night, the Guyana Amazon Warriors defeated the Jamaica Kingsmen by 6 wickets. The Jamaica Kingsmen batted first. They could only muster 117 all-out in 19.4 overs. That's never going to be enough in a CPL match. Come on, that's too little. Hendricks top scored with 40. Rovman Powell made it 24. It was Mohamed Nabi that wrecked the Jamaica Kingsmen. He took 4 for 22 from his 4 overs. The Guyana Amazon Warriors had very little trouble getting to that target. They did it in 14.1 overs. They made 118 for 4. Leading the way was wicketkeeper Shea Hope. He struck 56 not out. Glenn Phillips made 28 at the top of the order. They really just had a very easy time in getting to that target. For the bowling for the Jamaica Kingsmen, Andre Russell took 2 for 12 from his 2 overs. Lords had 1 wicket, as did Blades, but really they did not post enough runs on the board. In this CPL competition, where we're seeing in some matches 400 runs being scored in one match, 200 each by each team, you're not going to get away with 117 runs. You've got to post a lot more runs on the board. The wickets have been playing fantastic, by the way, so it's a really good pitch for batting on these pitches. Just unfortunately, Jamaica Kingsmen came up well short of what they would have needed to actually even challenge a team like the Guyana Amazon Warriors, which has down the years been one of the most consistent franchises in CPL cricket. All right, let's head into our interview now with Alex Johnston, who's the head of strategy at the Caribbean Premier League. Alex, I mentioned to you during the break that you're having long days and long nights, but we do appreciate you getting up early this morning to have a conversation with us.
Well, you know, if you host the biggest party in sport, you got to embrace your long days and your long nights. There's no other way. I don't have to tell anyone in the Caribbean that. And you're good at a party. You're good at hosting a party, and you're good at attending a party, Alex. So we appreciate you making the time for us. How has the Caribbean Premier League 2026 started for you, Alex? We're 6 games in. Well, I think it's been fantastic. We've broken new ground on a new market with St. Vincent, which has been a wonderful experience for all involved. Obviously, they don't have a franchise, so there was no home support as such. But that didn't stop the Vincies from coming out and showing us a good time. We had a drone display. They had 2 fantastic games, 2 last ball finishes. So that was very exciting. And then we come to Jamaica, who obviously haven't been playing in the CPL for a while. So they were breaking new ground as well with the Kingsmen. Disappointing result for them yesterday, but they again were involved in an incredibly close finish the other day. So, if you look at it from a pure cricket point of view, we're delivering some really exciting matches. And I think if you're any kind of fan of cricket, you just get caught up in the whole vibe of the whole thing. So we're really pleased with how it's gone so far. Really pleased. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. As head of strategy, Alex, you're not only looking at this tournament, you're looking, and I must say, getting the tournament to kick off in St. Vincent, I said this earlier this week, that's a big deal, spreading the cricket across the Caribbean, and then having Jamaica back. Having Jamaica back, how big and important was that for the strategy of CPL to get a franchise and a country that's so important to West Indies cricket like Jamaica back into the CPL? I mean, it's massive. I mean, we felt this hole in calling ourselves the Caribbean Premier League because Jamaica hasn't been present, and now they are, and we have a really strong franchise owner for the Kingsmen. It almost it feels like we've completed a deck. It feels much more like we're genuinely delivering on the brand promise of it being a Caribbean Premier League. And St. Vincent means that, I think much like any business, you have to keep growing. You have to keep getting bigger. You have to keep expanding your audience. So Jamaica felt like table stakes to us. We have to have Jamaica playing, and it's great to have them back in the tournament. But St. Vincent was, somewhat of a reach into the unknown for us because, as I say, there wasn't a franchise there, but we knew we had a very passionate local audience. So in terms of us demonstrating, that we can keep growing this tournament, I think, opening up new markets like St. Vincent are really important to us. You mentioned, Alex, the importance of expanding, to keep growing as an organization. Where do you hope to take the CPL as head of strategy in the next, let's just say, 5 years? I think we have a number of fantastic opportunities, and I think you could look at them in terms of how do we expand our brand. At the moment, we are delivering the biggest party in sport through cricket, but you'll notice that now we've dealt up this year things like the mega concert in Barbados, the halftime show featuring, really fantastic new artists. And the reason that we're doing that is not only to show that we can stretch our reach beyond cricket, but also to tap into the fact that the CPL is second only to the IPL in terms of the amount of digital traction we have. Last year, we went well over 1 billion impressions around the world for people watching cricket through CPL. And we feel that we could be providing the world with a fantastic and unique window into Caribbean culture. Yes, it's grounded in the cricket, and we deliver that as the biggest party in sport, but there's so much more that we're able to showcase. So there's a big international opportunity just in terms of unlocking the potential of the digital audience that we have today. Forget about how we might build it, tomorrow. We've then got, the other things that we're doing with our brand beyond cricket in terms of healthcare, for example, in terms of education. And I'm sure this week you've already talked about the health and wellness initiatives that we're doing. So it's not just about building the economic benefit of CPL, but also about the societal benefit that we can bring through things like the health and wellness program. And then, of course, we've got the women's game as well, which I think historically we've looked at as the sort of, and there's a women's game. Yes, there's the men's CPL, and that's the big draw, but there's also a women's game. We want to flip that. And there's very good reasons for that, both economical and also societal. So, for example, if you looked at the top 25 cricketers in the world at the moment, 3 of them, certainly on the women's side, the top 25 women cricketers in the world, 3 of them are from the Caribbean. And no prizes for guessing who they are: Hayley, Deandra, and Stefani Taylor. If you look at the men's side, it's not as much. So we sort of feel that we're missing an opportunity to really expand on the fact that the Caribbean delivers fantastic women cricketers, and to create a tournament that really feels that puts them on a pedestal. That combines with the fact that the growth in women's sport globally is far exceeding the way that the men's sport is growing. And we see that not only in cricket, but in football. And I think if you look at women's football, women's soccer will enter the top 5 global sports in the world. So that's across men and women, within the next few years. So we're riding on a prevailing wind around women's sport, and I think that's a huge opportunity for us with CPL. And what we're doing this year is very much a sort of reconfiguration of WCPL. This is year 1. We have a Jamaica team, we have a Barbados team, we have the Trinidad team, and also the Guyana team. But our plans going forward are to invite other teams from other markets outside the Caribbean to come and play in the WCPL. So we see a big opportunity with the women's game as well to try and expand our footprint there. So I think that's a rather long-winded answer to your question, but I think we can see that we can expand our cricket, we can expand our brand in terms of what CPL means, both within the Caribbean and beyond, and we can, expand our economic value through the digital business that we've already created very successfully and will continue to do so in the coming years.
I just wonder how important international expansion is to the CPL. Do you see your strategy moving CPL matches to places like Florida and New York, or is it going to stay firmly rooted in the Caribbean?
The Caribbean Premier League is the Caribbean Premier League, and we would never lose sight of that being the heartland of the tournament. We are west of Lord's Cricket Ground. We are the Western Hemisphere's hub for cricket. There is no one else who delivers cricket, has the heritage, has the history that the Caribbean does. And we would never do anything to sort of dilute that in some way. So if anything, we want to try and build on that. There are some interesting opportunities coming in the near future, not the least being the 2028 Olympics, which is going to feature short format cricket for the very first time in its history. Now that'll be in America. So America has its own set of rights, its own short format tournament called the MLC. But it will put cricket in front of a global audience in a way that's never been done before. So we think that there's an opportunity for us potentially to capitalize on that in the years to come. But, we have to get there first, and we have to remember that our core business, our core heritage, where we're able to deliver the biggest party in sport is very much in the Caribbean.
Interesting. When it comes to T20 leagues, that CPL now has tremendous competition from so many leagues around the world, so many leagues popping up around the world. And you mentioned that it's only second to the IPL, which is true. But how do you keep the CPL enticing for international stars to want to come, to want to take 6 weeks out of their schedule and put their energy and their fitness into 6 weeks of a Caribbean tournament?
I think there are a number of different reasons, and there's a sort of a soft answer and a hard answer. We play a good standard of cricket, a high standard of cricket, so we should attract players who are capable of delivering that, and they want to play a good standard of cricket as well. They want to play, for teams that really care. And I think that passionate fan base at the heart of every sport is the fan. Everybody who's involved in this business of sport is ultimately working for the fans. If you're a player from anywhere else in the world, you will never experience an atmosphere as you do in the CPL. You will never experience a Trinidad-Guyana game, a Barbados-Guyana game, any of the island games. It's a very, very unique experience. And I think that will continue to be enormously appealing to players from all around the world. They're also, as I say, we have this fantastic digital footprint. We're able to put players on a pedestal in a way that other leagues are just not able to do, because they think in a very, very localized way. We deliver a sport, we deliver an event, an experience in a very, very localized way, which we hope captures the spirit of Caribbean culture very well. But then through our digital audience, we're able to project it, to broadcast it to this huge audience around the world. So I think it's very enticing to players, and I think we will continue to build on that for years to come.
I'm running out of time, Alex, but I do want to ask you as a final question. I always go back to the start of the CPL because I've been following the tournament from its inception. The real, we can talk about all grand strategies, international expansion, etc., but the real strategy of CPL was to help develop West Indies cricket. That was the real core function of the CPL, to really develop West Indies cricket. Do you think you've had success in helping to hone the next generation of West Indies cricketers through the CPL?
Yes, I think we absolutely have, and I think that if you look at which some people believe, the IPL is the sort of pinnacle, if you like. It's the equivalent to the English Premier League. It's the highest form of the league. We've continued to deliver emerging talent through the CPL that is able to gravitate up towards the IPL and beyond, and play for their country and across different formats as well. We did the Breakout League last year, and you'll see several players who first played in the Breakout League last year playing in this year's CPL. So that kind of mapping that pathway from being a talented youngster to being coached by proper coaches, enjoying facilities, benefiting from the experience of the heroes that you looked up to as a child playing cricket, is something that we're able to deliver through CPL in a way that I think is, it doesn't really have any competition. And we're enormously helped by our partners like Republic Bank, who developed their own format called 5 for Fun, which gets people involved in organised cricket as young as 5-6 years old. So we're starting to build this cradle to grave, I hesitate to say the word grave, but you know what I mean, this idea that we can really identify a developmental pathway from a very young age right through to playing in the CPL and beyond.
Alex Johnston, Head of Strategy at CPL, appreciate you taking the time this morning to talk to us on the CPL Breakfast Show.
Ryan, much appreciated. Thank you.
Alex Johnston joining us. And of course, we'll have recap of last night's game against the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the Jamaica Kingsmen. That happens this afternoon at 1 p.m. You can watch how the Guyana Amazon Warriors defeated the Jamaica Kingsmen by all of 6 wickets last night. Tomorrow we will have at 1 p.m. we will have the St. Lucia Kings, a replay of the St. Lucia Kings taking on the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. That game is live tonight. We'll have a replay of it tomorrow. And then, of course, the Trinbago Knight Riders will be live in action on CNC3 against the Jamaica Kingsmen. They'll be hoping that they can pile some more misery onto the Jamaica Kingsmen, having lost against the Guyana Amazon Warriors last night. TKR takes on the Jamaica Kingsmen live on CNC3 tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. From me and the crew behind the scenes, I'm Ryan Beachu. It's been great to sit in this chair. Jason is back with you on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.